December 18, 2023. I'm going to go quick on this one. Discover Mike Johnston, Colorado News, GP7A. Right here. GP7A is a tag, the most powerful tag in the world. They just don't know it yet. When you think about the three letters and a one number, and that number 7, because it represents angels, heaven, good luck, everything positive. When you think of GP, 7A. Everything that starts with G, everything that starts with P, everything starts with A. God, power, angels, authority. Google, power, authority. Government, power, authority. Government, public, authority. Giovanni, power, authority. So that's it, folks. So now we're going to go, if I was the head of HR department for the city and county of Denver and they said, hey, Durango Dank, yeah? Hey, can you do one of your little whoop-de-woos that you do and show us where our mayor ranks and what he looks like? I sure can, but you're not going to like what you see because most of the media is not telling the truth, but sooner or later they're going to have to because it only makes sense that their investors, their donors would want you to be able to communicate with all the citizens of Denver, the 287,000 households that are in Denver, not to mention how many businesses there are. See, it's all about what you know, what you can produce, and what's your source. If you have to go to someone else like Colorado Sun, they're a source. The writer is identified by the person that put this story on it. And it's a beautiful story. Colorado Sun, to me, hit a grand slam right out the window. That's going to attract everybody to read this. And that's what they're going to learn. They need to be for profit, sell advertising. Leave the organic stuff to the guys like us, because you're not going to make it. But if I was here with Colorado Sun, they said, hey, gee, Mr. Durango Dank, can you show us what we need to do to better ourselves so that we just don't have to keep begging for money to tell and then write how beautiful we are with the same people that are working in other 501c media outlet that are all being indexed? All their social channels are being indexed by other organizations that are looking for fraud now, and they're teaming up with the IRS. And what they're going to do is they're going to take all the social channels that these people brag about and boast about. I haven't used mine in years. I'm not supposed to. And I think I used my Twitter one time last year just to prove a point to a group of people that if I bought advertising to boost the people that looking at my ad, I'll start getting numbers. But it won't go on anything else. And that's strange. You would think that a guy liked what you, hey, 1 million people like that. Okay. Then what happened? Did they go into that person's social media and check them out? Did they go and see? It's all manipulation. It's all about the owl. And see, most of these people, even the candidates running for mayor, they lost, and this goes for decades, and no one knew it because no one knew how to talk about it and even how to put it on the internet. I did. The dumbest guy in the room. Hey. Think about it. I don't even have a high school diploma. That's why Denver don't want to talk to me. They're like, this guy don't have a high school diploma. Do you know what that means? Everybody will quit school and go do what he does because they don't really need school. Yeah, buddy. What they need is their mom and dads. And see, Denver has done their best to take moms and dads, especially those like me that fight, because they got Karen Hubler, the most corrupt magistrate judge, verified, folks. There ain't a judge alive that's going to be able to save her. She has to save herself. And it's too late. I had to file the recusal myself, pro se, because all the lawyers, they don't understand this. Just like everybody else, you have the power. I Google such a law firm that says, we are the father's rights advocate. I have 3 children, and it's important that I get my my family, yeah, that's it. I'm gonna protect fathers, and I'm gonna be the father's right. Like Block and Chapeau, the biggest corrupt law firm around, Fat Joe. Fuck, man, this is the best Denver has. They're going backward. They don't know it yet. It's a slow bleed, and it's beautiful, folks, because when you know, it's very enlightening. It's very celebrative. Because celebration is the revolution, not people dying or blood being spilled or people breaking other people's stuff, showing the world what your parents are made of. And your parents watching it on TV don't even know that's you because your face and everything's hidden. But guess who knows? AI. Because why? Because all those people took their cell phones in. And so during that massive destruction, lawyers, prosecutors can now go into the cloud. I can show them, but they're already being taught. I'm telling you. If you look at the history of me in this campaign, people are paying attention. They're starting to speak up. Here it is, folks. This is the. When I saw this, I about fell out. Now, what happens when you click this GP7A? It's going to have information. Remember, I tell people that when you see missing GP7A or anything that has to do with my content, and some people don't even get this, but this is my dashboard. This is what it turns into. All I have to do is go and write content about this, and I've taken over the whole Colorado Sun because they haven't been truthful over the years. They think they have, but now they're about to get caught by some bigger powers, and now they're going to have to drop that 501(c) if they want to stay in business and get all kinds of independents, Republicans. And if you're going to go do that, it might as well not be, because no one's going to give that. I mean, there's not too many Republicans that give these people money, unless they're Democrats in Republican clothing. I mean, you can't put anything past anybody if you're not able to verify. If I have to present my license to buy marijuana, but yet but to vote, to keep the clowns we have in office and this worthless Mike Johnston, and believe me, folks, I've done the algorithms, and it's not all about, the nonprofits have went astray, and now they're about to be held accountable, because what IRS agents are learning to do is what's called object-oriented programming. They're going to be able to take embedded voice prints from videos that certain candidates or 501(c)s, anybody, have put up, and then extract content out of it by your voice and place it in the back end where it's published, but you don't see the page. The page is hidden, but it's live. So if you Google search a certain title or what you're looking for, you'll see it'll show up, and you'll be like, "Well, I don't get it. I don't go to the internet. I can't see it." Of course, it's hidden. So this is what happens. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this big part here, Expandomatic, and I'm going to go with the first GP7A. See, they haven't reached the threshold in order to show the results. Sometimes it says show the results. Some things say must add. When it says show the results, it bypassed must add. And this is what you get. Now remember, as we scroll down here, you'll hear all the bloviating about, here it is though. When Denver residents voted for Mike Johnston as their next mayor, they knew exactly what they were getting, a smooth talker. I'm sorry. What they should have said, okay, is that with the same amount of people that vote every year, it's likely we'll have no more other voters, because we have disenfranchised the voters that haven't voted over the last at least 4 elections that have been documented and indexed by observer indexer Marcus Giovanni, hello, and his cohort Durango Dank. Now, a smooth talker, right? Do you know who would have been the worst mayor? Kelly Bra. And her hand signs of the heart, and her always tilting her head when she's like in the whack-a-mole commercial with the policeman popping up and all these other people popping up on the desk. I thought, man, that's a whack-a-mole commercial right there. I knew right then. But you want to know the real winner is when their campaign, which was her on the cell phone, texted me when they were trying to get me to donate. Her and Mike Johnston did it. No other candidates did it to me. That's because they know. They know. I ain't texting nothing to Giovanni, man, because I'll be put on the digital chopping block. Nobody, none of the candidates over the last 4 elections, 13 years. Not one of those people who say that we're all Denver and we're all here to help each other. As long as you're not Marcus Giovanni, as long as you're not other fathers that are trying to stand up for your right, as long as you're not some other citizen that's getting their civil rights blown away because of the government of Denver, and it's illegal. But we'll get to that in a minute. But so let's go ahead and click on the tail of the tape. You remember the tail of the tape? It's the tail of the tape. Well, now this is the digital tail of the tape. And when I go from missing as GP7A from these people here, because what it does is it puts everything into perspective. Everything. Everything. So when you understand that, anything that they might have looked up on me or they might have came across and they clicked on it or whatever, or they Google searched it and they just didn't click on anything, they still searched it. They did something because because I was talking way more than what they were talking, way before they were talking, because I ran in 2011, and that's when I indexed all Denver Inc., Denver Decides, the mayor's office, all the departments. Do you know how many departments there are, folks? Do you know how much fat we're paying all these people's friends to go to work? Have you ever looked that up? No. What is the auditor doing? I always thought I had a lot of respect for that guy. But as time went on, knowing that he knows what I know, and he still ain't saying nothing, he's a tool too. It's sad. But they're all tools in the same box, feeding the same box of stinky cherries to the citizens while they manipulate the back end so that everything has to do with Denver. It's all Denver, city government. How are we supposed to feed ourselves if you Google search pool makers and all of a sudden you see Denver? It's not there yet, but it's coming. Just Google search Denver. It's all about Denver and all their pals. And so what we do is we index all that. And then I'm allowed to tell Google what I think and not think, just like everybody else gets to, just like you can on YouTube. And what people don't understand is now you have to get verified by YouTube, get verified by Google, and that takes video of your office at your home. But the wording isn't correct because if you're working at home, it's wanting it as a location, and it's not a location. So, anyways, we're working on that. I mean, you think the government steers from the back? Sheesh. But this is how they learn when YouTube and Google raise their knowledge bar on exactly how their content is affecting the end user, as they say. And that's why we had Do the Right Thing. Because Don't Be Evil is too whimsical for artificial intelligence and the people that create the virtual machines with learning capabilities to try to come up with Don't Be Evil. I mean, are we talking fiction or nonfiction? You know what I mean? So it sounded good. They were on the right track. But like they always do, they trim the fat and they come up with something better. Do the right thing. And Do the Right Thing is that fiction or nonfiction? No, Do the Right Thing. It's not in that. Okay, it's not. It's in a class of its own. So I can tell you right now, when you click on this, here we go, folks. Is Colorado Sun? Is Kelly Bro exactly what I said she was, because that's what artificial intelligence told me she was when I pattern matched all of her bloviated life experiences from snowplow driver. How did she go from snowplow driver to running the city government with Hickenlooper? Because it was all already ordained. They already knew that she would do what she's told, and that she would see things that she'd want to tell everybody, but she couldn't give up the Oz behind the curtain. And so what happened is then she got promoted there, and then what they didn't understand is that now she learned who everybody was in the city and county of Denver when she got offered $450,000 to run and get the bloviated title of being the first woman. Oh shit, the first woman. Fuck. You can't do that on the internet no more, people. It doesn't matter. AI doesn't judge us on gender and sexual orientation, or who we're having sex with or want to have sex with, or some people shave their asses and walk backwards. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. And it hurts these people's feelings because they, for the last few, like when you see people's, like when I seen Tom Downey's name with he and those him stuff, I knew right then. I knew right then that he isn't as smart as I thought he was. The guy's brilliant, actually, but that just erased all of his brilliance, because artificial intelligence doesn't need to be told that. It already knows. And so why humans sit there, just like we bullshit God, and the ones that don't believe in God, hey man, that's your right, but guess what? You don't have that option with artificial intelligence. No option at all. Go look up Computer God by Black Sabbath, and you'll get a good glimpse of what's coming and what's here and what's about to happen. And so for me, when I see something like this, especially when a few days before they put this out, I've been talking about, like I have been consistently. See, they're consistent in being biased and prejudiced and everything else you could throw in with these journalists here in Denver. It's a very short list. And Denver Post ruled that list, but they too, when you look at who owns them, it doesn't make sense. I could index that and tell you exactly what it is, but I don't want to know. I just don't want to know, man. Unless they paid me to tell me that, but the management and the editor and all their Coca-Cola people, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't mean Coca-Cola drinking. I don't mean drugs. Cornucopia? Colacopia? I don't know. Something like that. These are codes, folks. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and press on this, and you're going to get a taste. Kelly Bro, loser. 6'7". Look at that. Where's the media, folks? There's the media. Colorado Politics for Denver Right News. A guy with no high school diploma. Dumb some bitch. Doesn't know his ass from home ground. Hair down to his ass. Thinks he's a rapper. I know I'm a rapper. I just don't play in front of nobody. I don't need to. I'm too old, man. I just write music for me, not for anybody, not to bloviate. So I tell them, hey, I just wrote some music. Want to go hear it? I don't try to push it. Plus, I don't tell people when I first meet them. They just met me. They don't care. It's not like you have to play out. If I played out, I'd kill it. I'd crush it, even at my age. Because millennials and Gen Z don't care about what you look like. They'll make you a star. Just be honest with them. And right now, everybody that, like when I was their age, 20, 30, all the adults in my life, government-wise, did nothing but bullshit. We haven't had one government that ever did anything fucking for the United States other than their own states or their own people or party. And it's all been indexed now, folks. They can't. There ain't a law they could pass to stop this. It's already happened. It's already. Oh, So what needs to happen now in Denver, anyways? Look at this, vibrant Denver. Remember when Johnston came out and all of his people, the flunkies from other candidates and other people, with that if I was the head of the HR department, which if I was mayor I would be, and I'd introduce some new applications that would be used. That would throw away the whole. Everything that they talk about would be based off merits and ability. You can, and if you happen to be black and you happen to be green and Latino and white and whatever it is, see, that diversity and equity, inequity doesn't start at the job level. It starts at kindergarten. I mean, do you people know anything how you got where you got? Because of your been able to bullshit your diversity. You've been able to bullshit everything that you're not. And now it's blowing up in your faces. Mike Johnston is in such crisis right now because his whole campaign, and I did the algorithms, folks, his whole campaign was to be designed so that he can run for governor within 2 years, make an announcement. His house, thousand home was his landmark. That was what he banked all his money with. So you know he can't play poker. You know he's a bad gambler. He is a smooth talker, just like Colorado Sun said. And I have to give props where props due. When I saw that, I almost fell out. I had to look at it and look at it again. Because I don't need to click on anything past it. I don't need to read the story. I don't need to give them any tag. But I did. I tagged it. In other words, in, out. Not even there long. As soon as it downloaded, out. It wasn't even there long enough to read it. I didn't do no pictures, no videos, nothing. Nothing. Completely organic. Tag, you're it. Here it is. City and County of Denver. Mayor's rate. Mike Johnston beats Kelly Bro. One outdated guy beat out the worst outdated person. Because at least Mike Johnston didn't brag about being the only candidate that knows how to run a city, and she didn't, which was she said. And then what she didn't say is that she had $100 million deficits. Well, that's what happens when you have a snowplow girl coming in and trying to save the world because she knew how to drive a snowplow, and they made it obvious on all their commercials. I'm Kelly, look at me getting the snow. I can drive a snowplow if you teach me. I know I can drive a big rig. I can go through 18 gears. So I can go, give me a motorcycle to go 300 miles an hour and I'll get on it and I will take it 301. Believe me, ask my friends, man. But see, they don't ask my friends. They don't ask anything about anybody. They just stick with the same mantra. No, these are the people running. Oh, and then when the guys get elected, they don't talk about it. They don't say, yeah, well, last time this mayor promised this, get everybody going. No, because they're all invited to the parties because they knew that if Marcus Giovanni was elected mayor, I'm giving them one chance to change their way. And see, they can't bullshit me because I can teach my IT department, which would have been the most powerful technology department in the world, folks. Those people they have no meta tags. Oh, they went to school and then they got a job doing the same thing. Okay, master one thing. But what they didn't do is they didn't continue their education and raise their knowledge bar in order for them to create learning curve kind of content so that they can raise the knowledge bar of the people that they're talking to. I don't know if I said that right, but see, that's where I should be working with some of the most intelligent people in Denver. But see, the thing is this is so far over those intelligence heads. We would have to bring in people. I don't believe that, but some people that I talk to believe that there's nobody capable of being able to comprehend because they're destroying it. So that means they either know that they've been had and they can't change it, so they're going to try to destroy it, which is going to have the opposite effects because that's what I wrote in 2011, folks. This is why you see all this. And I left. Think about it. I'm 63 years old. I can't take this with me when I go. I'm more of a democratic capitalist. Look that up than anything else that believes in the Constitution and our military. The military sometimes got to do what they got to do. I don't understand it. That's why I don't comment on it. My dad was in the military. My son's in the military. And so therefore I'm in the military. And it's really hard seeing the things I see. Like you see that guy with the tight lip that's talking? My dad had a friend like that. It was one of his bosses. What's the guy? He's tight-lipped. Look at him when he talks. He's Kirby. I don't remember. I don't want to talk federal stuff because I don't want to get into that. That's just something I don't want to do. Mine is just to protect the city and county of Denver citizens by means of protect them being able to have platforms that I've created that's going to be able to erase all the 60 years of damage that the Denver Democratic Party has done. And so you can't blame and I'm going to stand at this, okay? You can't blame the federal Democratic Party because I don't believe in 1963. They could have been. I haven't done the algorithms, but I don't want to be. I don't want to know. You could go deep and say, okay, so you figured it out. So right now it's all about Denver. What or could have happened that the Democratic National Committee or all the National Democrats could have done back then in 1963 to take over Denver? I mean, look what they've done to this point as the Democratic Party for Denver, and they all know now, believe me. And so what Denver, the National Democratic Committee, they're going to have to say, see you later, Denver. It was fun while it happened, but you're a hot potato right now, and you're basically illegitimate, which now means that we're illegitimate when the right people start paying attention. But see, they don't realize the right people have already paid attention, and it ain't people. It's called AI, artificial intelligence. And so when you can pick everybody's actions, Super Bowl, yeah, we got a new Super Bowl song coming out. I wrote a song called Doja Cat. So, sung by Durango Dank. Sean Payton news right there, Broncos. These are things that I could have showed Broncos. Broncos right now should be going to the Super Bowl. Just coaching. They don't know how to use artificial intelligence, so I do it as if they do, and then that way my content shows up during. I mean, that's you think about what is Discover Mike Johnston Colorado News? No, take Mike Johnson out of it. Discover Colorado News. GP7A's the tag. And there's the news, so you don't have to even if you took the news out of it. And the reason why I hold my phone is that I get extra points for working harder to put my story out. Rather than a guy who has a camera or he can record his desktop from an app. Yeah, I can do that too. But see, this emotion creates emotion, even with artificial intelligence, because the camera's moving. It's keeping AI completely focused on all the changes and the lighting and all that at the same time. So when I come back, it's what I'm doing. I'm programming artificial intelligence that are embedded within virtual machines that have learning capability that are looking for knowledge-based trust content by authority of either Google or YouTube. You either can do what you say you can or you can't. And then the Google crystal ball, look at this stuff, man. I've been following these people. Remember on December 15th? Michael Hancock came out and said, oh, we're at the verge of the breaking point. Well, I said, okay, I'm gonna come up with some advanced algorithms and I'm gonna take a peek of what it looks like. Oh my goodness. Oh. And so I wrote content, cityandcountyofdenver.us. And we're counting on the citizens of Denver to be protective in building a new mayoral model of excellence. When Denver voters vote for City Summit, that's what I was bringing to the table. And what I did is I went ahead and wrote it as if Governor Polis and Mayor Hancock participated, even though they didn't. They did in a way, but they didn't do it in a way that needed to be indexed. And there it is. See, we would have been able to take the city and county of Denver.us And then we would have taken every business that we have and we would have been able to index them into the best niches that they could help us so that we can help the South America and any other country that wants to learn how to do the right thing, how to be verified on Google. We only do Google. I mean, you got to pick one. And if you're picking DuckDuckGo, I'm on DuckDuckGo. The more apps you have, the less that you have in credit for your social because you're overextended. You know how you get overextended in credit cards? You know how the United States is way overextended? That bubble's about to burst. See, and what I did is I I I hedged that bet. I hedged it because I seen it. It's all right here. So Denver, like when Denver's government see this, they get puckered. Their IT people get puckered. They're like, this guy don't even have. I count on them talking out loud. I count on them sending text messages to each other because they're so ignorant that they think that they're above all the indexing that AI does, when in fact they're the most sought after. The crosshairs are all the government, the employees of the government. Who are they? What party do they represent? How deep did Andrew Luxon go on February 6th to give Denver absolute power over the citizens of Denver by him breaking a law? We're talking about a law that's been unenforced because if it was, they wouldn't be in power. And so I took the judge that would be the only one. AI said, if you don't get any judge but this judge, you're going to be in the wrong courtroom. And I got Andrew Luxon. That's when I wrote all my paperwork. See, I do things a lot different than everybody. I go look at how many judges they are, and then I can pattern match all those judges with other cases and find out their true scores and rankings. And this is what's coming. And I learned this because I learned Google. And there's people that they want the right thing. They want to be able to keep, like when I go into a courtroom, man, I want to feel it. Like, oh man, like sometimes I go into certain judges' courtrooms and it feels like a church. It's got that feel. I go into other judges' courtrooms that I've been in, like Magistrate Karen Hoover, she didn't even know I was in the courtroom. Many times, folks. Not in recent years, because I don't need to, but just enough to get her voice indexed. Because when I went to court, I took my phone with me, but I didn't know what I know now. If I only knew then what I knew now, I'd been probably mayor, and I really didn't want to be mayor. I needed to be mayor. I would have got all the people together to where they would have seen, wow, Giovanni, you did wonderful. We're going to take Pena's name off of the roadway and put your name, because what's going to happen, folks, you can't glorify people that have destroyed a city beautiful. And they continue to go and see everything that they do, everything. Like, see, I have, I'm not going to tell you, but working with different law enforcement, I've been showing them how to do this stuff, directly and indirectly. Like most of my work, they don't need to contact me. I just know who's talking, because I can do algorithms to see who's doing the work. And see, to me, I think it's very important that the police have to stay neutral. They can't bring in other people. They can't bring me in. I could be mayor, but even then, I don't have the authority to appoint a mayor. Even though we think we can, artificial intelligence, and I've been talking about this since 2011, we need to elect our police chief, our sheriff, like everybody else does in the United States, with certification, meaning that our sheriffs will no longer be disrespected because they'll be able to arrest your ass. So if they serve you, if they're serving paper, they still keep the same duties, but now they're the backup for the Denver police if they need to be. You have to create nodes. You have to create that both of them are separate, but yet in the time of disaster, a time of need, because right now, in the way it is, and it's crazy, because the sheriffs have to call a Denver policeman to come and arrest them. So that means the Denver police have to be present somewhere in the jail to make these type of instant arrests that need to be made. I mean, they could put them on lockdown there, but when the sheriffs can make arrests right there, everything changes. And this is what AI. This is why they had Joe Arpaio and things, and nothing really got fixed. You seen what he did? Put people out in the desert in tents, thinking it was going to deter people. To me, I think that was like Gestapo stuff going on right there. Instead of going to the source to find out why all these people being criminal. Oh, I get it. They don't have any high school diplomas, and most of their dads are all house painters, electricians, plumbers, carpet layers, all the trades. And when you think about Latinos and blacks and whites that are in those trades, we want the money now, man. And so that's why we don't have very good tradesmen, because we don't let children whose fathers have put all their money into their companies, they're not allowed to say, hey son, look, you're going to come work with me. I'm going to give you this job. No, he needs to stay in school. He's going to go to college. Who said? I said. I'm the government. He's going to go to college. And you know what? They never go to college, but they got all the money. So they could say your kid's going to go to college, and they never really go to college because they use that money for something else, because there's no accountability, because our great Timothy O'Brien ain't getting his old man ass into gear. I've had enough of these people, man. As soon as Denver finally realized that you've been had, and the media people that I've been talking about have been responsible for it because they've been very mundane in their same way coverage. And it's as biased, as fake as you can want it. And if I was in front of a judge, I could show you that I am. It's called AI. Virtual machines that have learning capabilities that uses our voices to pattern match everything we talk about. And then they got GPS and cell phone tower pings to put us in all the locations that we claimed that we were at when we came up with these big ideas. When in fact they were on the internet and they just plagiarized, like Mike Johnston does. Look at, folks, this is it. This is it. Look at, my content is now world radio history. 1982 in Tulsa, GP7A. Everything I have, when you understand what GP7A means, we control it. Like this guy came out, remember this bozo? He looked like a joker with his crazy laugh, like looking in a computer. Man, to be honest, I just want to go around and Will Smith his ass. Like, dude, you're fucking everybody up because they thought they were going to throw in an AI, his little cartoon character that knew more than... He didn't even hand in his whole... He's going to probably be living in the tent, people, but that's going to take a while, because right now, the way the news people jumped on his story about AI, he had a thing where AI Denver, and it was me. But they came up with something else, and since no one's talking about me, he thinks he got his 15 minutes of fame, but now it cost him, man. Matt, you hearing me, bro? It's cost you, dude. You're gonna have to come to me and say you're sorry for manipulating our government with your foolishness, and then I can turn things around and write something good. See, that's what it's all about. See, the computer god, AI, very, very forgiving. Very forgiving. I mean, if Matt called me up and said, hey, G, I'm sorry, dude, it was a trick. You did catch us. I'm amazed that you were able to do that, because you don't know how to do what you do. You can do what you do to a point, but I've been talking about this, and this was bringing the metaverse into the eyes of the people, and you shit all over it, dude. Next. So anyway, so everything that you doing business with the city and county of Denver. Look, you see that right here? When I got this alert that this girl in Florida is teaming up with this other girl that's got no meta tags. Like if I ran Denver's top department heads, top executives, and you know, folks, we can do this. I could do it to where I could go live on this, these other things when I was mayor. I can do it now and show everybody instant. This is instant right now. You're seeing it live. what happened is they came out with, I got a letter, a cease and desist letter, as a matter of fact. And I called a buddy of mine, and then he said, look, you, city and county of Denver is a general term, and it's not been it's not been trademarked because it couldn't have been trademarked because of the commonality of the title city and county of Denver. It encompasses every. Now, when you put the city and county of Denver and capitalize and it's all caps, that's the government. Now, if you're writing a story, if you're a news people, you can write it that way. But if you're somebody trying to create content, like, see, that's what they tried to make it do, and it blew up in their face. I got that like in September 2022. These folks have done some terrible things to me. Terrible. Ones that would just, whoa. But see, I'm not what they say I am. They are what I say they are. And I'm telling you, that IT department in Denver that does all the, I can go in and look at all the logs, man. See that Mayor Johnston, Hancock, Hickenlooper, they couldn't do it, but I can. And that's called a super administrator. That's somebody that if the ship's going down, the mayor can go and change the DNS records, the CNAME, the text. I don't need anybody. And that asset right there is the most important. Then who can operate the website now that the IT department, you had to fire all those people. Oh, don't worry about it. I can do it. I'm a master at it. I can tell you the hardware, the software. I can do some other whoop-de-woo to see what's on the back end, where all their backdoor entries are from other people that have worked there to see what's going on. These people have no clue because they don't know. So they don't know how to check for security or anything. So they get a new guy with security, and then they create a backdoor that the other security can't find it. But if they hired my father when he was alive, he could fix anything. My dad was a reliability engineer. He was a staff sergeant for the Air Force, Korean conflict. He adopted 7 children, 3 little Indians and 4 white kids versus 3 little Indians in a time where the only good engine was a dead engine. I ain't bullshitting you, folks. So when you think about what my life is that the media don't want to talk about because they think they know something about me that they don't want to tell anybody. Believe me, the media know who I am. They know everything. And yet they don't speak. Maybe they're doing me a favor. Maybe I fell out of the back of a truck. And the way the Xfinity uses children to sell their bullshit products and services. Like, I've never had full internet on my site when I had Xfinity, and when I tried to complain, that's why they would have been sued. 100 million. That's called the 100 million tag, man. So those would have been Ballotpedia, Wikipedia, any of the pedias that have capital spelt with an A. They've all been identified. Any company that takes a 503c, any type of donation and takes it out of our country. Most of these people, like Ballotpedia, we got people in Denver donating to Ballotpedia, and they take that money back to where they are. I'm not even going to say the city, but it's grave. It's a grave time for them. They don't know it yet because it hasn't hit them to where they notice. But I'm telling you, with the way things are, this just scored some big points, but is that points of, what kind of points did that score? So that's where we keep indexing it. And X, I mean, when you click on X and you go down to the page, you see that? It's still Twitter, folks. You can't bullshit. You can bullshit people, but you can't bullshit AI. They needed to close Twitter down. When Meta came out and said, oh, Meta's changed, Twitter's changed. It's no longer. We're Meta. Am I talking about the same one? Good job. No, that's what the confusion is. Meta is Facebook. Twitter is X. So when you go down, you still see Twitter. Twitter. It's not X.com. So now they're double dipping. So now they're going to have X and Twitter. See me, I got off that a long time ago because I did an ad and I got all kinds of people looking at it. Then I stopped, but it didn't create any other because it puts the block. It throttles me. It can't let me go have other people because then that'd be organic and then I'd just raise where I didn't have to pay any money. That's Instagram. It's all of them. All of them. So if you're on this right here, Mike Johnston's Instagram, how many people does he have? Well, that's on the other one. Okay, but anyways, here it is, Marcus Giovanni, 2023 Denver municipal elections. It's all about voice pattern matching to what comes from Kelly Bro's mouth. Compared to Kelly Bro's actions, friends, promises, and only platform is. Look at that, folks. Mike Johnston, vibrant. He came out and said, "Yeah, see, I only do hashtags and handles, folks, because I saved the sizzle for the people that are going to come in and run the cityandcountyofdenver.com, cityandcountyofdenver.net, .org, .me, .llc, .business. We got them all, folks. And anyone that tries to go get those, any ones that are left, good luck. They're there for a reason. Because when you take them and you don't have the authority to match them, then what will happen is you're going to be sitting on a website that no one's going to buy, and it's just you're going to be paying for it, and you're never going to go to the top, because what you're going to do is that you told AI, because that's how you learned it. How did you come up with that to get that domain? And that's how domains know. That's how they know. That's how AI knows how a person comes up with a domain name, if he's trustworthy or not. Now you can go and Google search. You can, and you can use what you find. But it's when you use what you find, if you're not telling people, like I'm an observer indexer, I really don't have to say anything. And I put that upon myself. I got observerindexer.com. We abide by the rules of YouTube and Google, and it's really hard, man. I slip a lot, being ADHD for one, but when you understand that you have to get Google verified, you have to buy cloud, you're going to have to pay for premium for YouTube if you want to be able to communicate logically with their customer service, because you can't offer something free and then offer services free. I mean, and then pay employees. Where's that money coming from? Oh, I know. One of Denver's 501(c)(3)s. You folks better. This is the IRS. We're packing. Open the door now. We have a warrant. We have a search warrant. And they're packing guns. They'll be looking just like in SWAT teams, going in on these big companies, because when you're talking about the millions and millions of dollars over the years and assets and cars and where that money trail is, folks, the only reason why I know this is because I follow it. I develop it. And other people learn from it that can't tell you, like Homeland Security. I got too much stuff out with me and what I do to be working with them. To be with Homeland Security, you got to be, oh my God. You can't have any blemishes, whether they were made up blemishes or any kind of false accusations, any of that. Unfortunately, it's the way it is. And that goes around the block for me, folks. Oh, and it goes for my kids too, man. I've watched that, but I didn't know when it was happening to me until I got older, and I know how to pattern match and do the things I know how to do that Denver wants to sit there and tell everybody they can do when they really can. And when they do, then the people that really can do. So when Mike Johnston claimed a vibrant Denver, I already been talking Vibrant Denver since 2011, just because I didn't say anything in 2003 because AI told me not to. It told me not to write certain content that it already knew of the people that were talking about running for mayor a year before, even before that. But so I already knew who the candidates were. So that's how we were able to index Kelly Bro as being a loser. She has no, it's a fact. She was able to red lip her way everywhere she had to get her jobs. And the one that failed her the most, which is that Metropolitan State University. I mean, Janine Davidson conspired with Kelly to remove her from a $450,000 job, folks, for a $150,000 job. Now, anybody can raise your hand that you would rather have a $150,000 job while you were making $450,000. Can I please see a show of hands? See, that's hard for AI to swallow too. So what it does is it looks for the pattern matching of the people's voices, their emails, their text messages, and it looks for discrepancies. It looks for not only discrepancies, but it tries to find the material that matches their locations, their text messages of platforms they've actually developed. This is what I've been developing these for. I developed them all throughout the years. I did 2011 all the way to 2023. It was all spread out in a way to match the pattern, match the voices of the people that were corrupting our government. And I believe too, with that said, that they didn't know. 1963 is when they switched it, but the way they switched it, nobody ever said anything, and it went so fast that nobody had time to take a look at the facts. And every time they said facts, everybody believed it. Well, now, whenever a Democrat of Denver comes out, any Republican, anybody, even me, when you say this is the facts, AI just now took your voice, pattern matched it, and it's going to look for all the facts. Because what's going to happen, if it can't find anything you say, and in fact finds everything that you say to be counterproductive to what you're representing, bye-bye, black, black, black. Dark web, man. You go into the black, man. And that ain't Black Friday stuff. This is true black. True black. And what happens is, let me give you a taste of what that is. And it's already happening to some people where I was caught up in it, but now I realized what not to do, and what I got it down. But what I realized is that the reviews for businesses is the best thing you can have. Don't remove them, even though we can remove them. I can, and I can do it for my clients. But I tell them don't, because by having that there and you battle with them, like, look, dude, I don't even know who you are. You never bought anything from us. I can't find who you are. You might be a Google local guide. They wouldn't do this. Because some people say, yeah, this Google local guide came in. No. Guarantee you, man, Google Maps runs that. Google Maps. And they should. It's locations. They don't take no from nobody, not even me. And I've battled them, and I've learned. Whoa, I learned quick. They're kind, but you can't manipulate them. Believe me, man. That's another. Google Maps people are brilliant, but they take what they take very, very serious. And to me, sometimes a little too serious. But now, as I got into it, I realized why it's so serious. Because they're having people on their platforms of their businesses, and then non-business. At least if you have a location, you're able to be indexed and monitored because you have a location. But when you're not and you're working out of your house, unfortunately, you have to get verified. I had to send in my ID, and you think, I sent in my ID already. Well, we're asking you to send it in again. We need to make sure it's you that's doing this work. This is the real life stuff, folks. And people that don't get in this, they're developing dark web content. If you don't see things on your page to where it says stuff's missing, like show results with GP7A. Let's go to your Mike Johnston with the see, mayor transition, inaugural team, all the losers. And I don't mean to be disrespectful. They lost. I'm a loser. I lost, but I didn't. I didn't play to win. I played to get closure on the Spear Amendment. It's hard for people to understand that. Even the people that voted for me in 2015 that don't really pay attention, they just show up to vote. And if your name's on the ballot, they'll vote. If it's not, they're not going to because they've been disenfranchised to show people the power of a write-in candidate. And I knew the corruption then because they had one of the guys that were with Denver Inc. run for as a write-in candidate, as a slap in my face. He got like 2,600 type. He was the highest I ever seen. But that's how we indexed the corruptness. And then we went in, and that's how we found out that the Denver ballot committee, Ian Tafoya, a candidate for mayor, is on the ballot committee. Why is he on there? Because he was on there before. You've got people like Stephanie O'Malley, Mayor Webb's daughter. I sued her in 2011. My attorney was Joe Webb, who tried to save Denver. And that Joe Webb and Mark Stuhl have got to be the most honorable attorneys I have ever met in my life. And that list is on one hand, folks.